Hello, fourth graders. Welcome back. I am Mrs. Lamondo here to bring you our Fontes and Pinnell mini lesson of the day. Today we're working on WAR U4 Lesson 2. So today we're going to read a book called Frozen Land. Afterwards, we are going to make an outline I created to show the main topic and the subtopics. So let's start. Frozen Land, this is from Vanishing Cultures, and this is by Jan Reynolds. This is a nonfiction book, and we can tell that it's about real life people who live. So we're going to kind of jump around a little bit, but let's start with the introduction. The Inuit, known as the caribou hunters, live near the shores of Quamanatock, an inlet of Hudson Bay. Throughout most of the year, their land is covered with snow. When these people travel and hunt along the frozen shores and across the windy plains, they live in igloos, round houses made out of blocks of snow. When ice breaks up and melts for a short time in the warmer months, they live in tents made of caribou hide. Long ago, they depended on the caribou for survival and waited for their annual migration to hunt them. But this ancient way of life is disappearing. When fur traders and trappers from Europe came to the lands of the Inuit, the caribou herds became smaller and moved away. Without regular migration of caribou, Inuit life changed. Because the Inuit believe that they, the caribou, and all nature share a common spirit, they respect the land and the animals depending on them to provide what is necessary for a good life. We are all part of the same human family, and we all depend on the land and nature to provide us with the things we need to live. Perhaps we can learn from the relationship the Inuit have with their natural surroundings before their way of life vanishes forever. Beautiful. As the sun sets on the edge of the frozen shores of the Quamanatock, a large inlet of Hudson Bay, Kenalogak asked her grandmother for one more story. They hurry to prepare tea before the chill of darkness comes, and Kenalogak's grandmother begins her tale. So you can see they live quite a different life than you or I. Long ago, your grandfather traveled great distances with his dogs and sled in search of the caribou herd. As Inuit, we depend on Tuktu, the caribou, to provide us with meat to eat and skin to make warm clothing. To protect himself from the winds on the open plains, your grandfather would build an igloo out of blocks of snow. Grandmother's tale goes on into the night. When Kenalogak falls asleep, she dreams of a long sled journey over the snow-covered land. The glare from that light. The next day, the cold winds that often blow across the ice are calm. Kenalogak's mother decides it's a good time to teach her daughter how to fish. Mother keeps Panic, little sister, warm inside her large parka, while she shows Kenalogak how to move the hook up and down in the water to attract fish. Many big fish have been caught here, and they hope to catch more. Wow. It's amazing how vast it is. Aritak, Kenalogak's older brother, fishes on his own behind a small windbreak of snow. He breaks a hole in the ice with a long pole, then scoops the broken ice out with a large spoon-like shovel. After he removes the freezing slush, Aritak lies in the snow and peers down into the hole. He is looking for a shadow or movement that could be a fish. Pages are sticking together. Kenalogak loves the taste of fresh, raw fish. It's a treat. But Tuktu, the caribou, is the animal her people have depended on for their way of life. Caribou meat is the most common meal, and it is too often eaten raw. When there is plenty of caribou meat, some is left out on the snow to dry naturally. The dried meat will be eaten later when the caribou herds cannot be found. The caribou skin is used to make clothing, blankets, and tents the Inuit live in during the warmer months. Even the bones and antlers are made into tools the Inuit need. When they hunt caribou, the Inuit build Inuksuq, rock piles that are stacked to look like men. The caribou think the Inuksuq are hunters, and they move away from the rock statues, unknowingly moving toward the real Inuit hunters who are waiting for them. Very interesting. When the caribou skin is removed, inside is scraped clean with a curved blade called the ulu, a half moon-shaped knife. After the skin has dried, it is cleaned again and softened by scraping it with a dull, scooped blade. Once the skins are soft and clean, they are ready for mother to cut and sew into boots, pants, parkas for the entire family. So something I want to mention here, right? Because I know there's a lot of animal lovers like me out there. The Inuit are using every single part of the caribou and the animals that they catch. They're not letting anything go to waste. So they really depend on these animals for their way of life. They're not overhunting these animals to extinction. They're really treating the earth with respect. So even though it can be hard to see sometimes, I just want you to know that they are really doing this in the most respectful way that they can. Let's look at a outline I made. So, frozen land. What did we hear about? We heard about the Inuit and we heard about travel. Now, we didn't get too much into travel, but we did hear a little bit about grandfather with the dog sleds and the caribou herds. We heard about their way of life, their homes. Remember, they use igloos in the winter months and tents made out of caribou hide in the warmer climates. And then we learned about their food and clothes. We learned that they use fish, they use caribou. Something we didn't get to is they also use rabbits and wolves. Again, they use every part of the animal. They are not wasting any portion of it. Today we learned that a topic outline is useful to show the main topics and subtopics. Sometimes a book has headings that could help you outline a book. When you read today, think about if you could outline your nonfiction book. Could the headings or subheadings help you create an outline like I did? Probably. All right, fourth grade readers, that's all for today. Until next time, I'll see you then. Bye.